a lot of people don't know that the spreadsheet actually exists. And when Ed made it, it was, I think, after all the COVID runs had happened, after Cannonball had settled down a little bit. I saw it through Drive Tribe, which I think shut down now. And it was VINwiki publishes spreadsheet of all Cannonball times. And I was so excited because Cannonball content through COVID is what carried me through it. At the time, I was working retail and we didn't get sent home. We didn't close. So we'd go in every day, masks and all the beautiful things that happened that year. And on lunch breaks, I would just go home, have a sandwich. What's the latest VINwiki video? We did 2539. We did Coast to Coast to Coast, Mark Spence, Chris Clemens. And just watching all of these people that I would eventually come to meet. And at the time, I had no clue how I was going to meet them. I just like, I want to do this. This is the thing that I want to do. And this was like October 2020. Fast forward to November 2021, barely a year later, I am on the musket ball with all of these people that I wanted to meet. Now meeting them and allegedly racing against them, beating some of them, getting beat by others, and just having fun. That was like, this is it. This is peak. I've met the people I wanted to meet. I'm happy. I'm done. Then the Backyard 400 happens. I meet Travis Bell, who is amazing. Great. I meet Arnie again in person. He's amazing. I'm like, all right, cool. Now 2021 ended with the musket ball. 2022, I'm at the Backyard 400. I met even more people I'd only watched on YouTube. No way is this getting better. Then the reunion came along, and on Sunday, in between getting goldfish thrown at me by Doug Tabbitt and walking around cars that I didn't belong around, Ed comes up to me and he goes, I have a job for you. And that's never a great question, just have someone tell you. And he's like, how would you like to work on the spreadsheet? I'm like, wow, you mean the one that's been bookmarked on Google Chrome for the past 2 years that I look at every day and was planning my solar run to do? Because at the time it was 34:33. I'm like, wow, I can do that. No, I can't. I actually cannot. I did a 35-hour, 46-minute, and I'm happy with that. That's a great time. I had fun doing it. Like, I'm not beating 34:33. Not happening. But you know what? I could dream for 2 years, and that spreadsheet and those videos, how can I say no to this? I'm like, I will do it. It's like, text me later this week. I'll do it. Get home Sunday. Go to work Monday. Coworker tests positive for COVID Monday night. I get a call Tuesday. Don't come into work for the rest of the week. I'm like, oh, convenient timing. So I go home like, hey, Ed, I'm off for the rest of the week. I can fix the spreadsheet. I'm like, okay, great. You have access. Here you go. I was punching in 2904 times that John Ficarra had sent me, C2C Express times that Ben Wilson had sent me, and being bombarded with emails of, here's my time. Here's my evidence. Here is my proof. Can I please be added? Here are the drivers. Here are the cars, times, dates, and all that. I'm like, wow. I've been doing this for 24 hours and you lunatics trust me enough to send me a 250-page document of your live GPS location and speed. This is very incriminating things you are allegedly sending me. And I've been doing this for about a day. Am I on the sheet yet? Yes, you are. There you go. Your time is up. Thank you. And I've met so many people through that. And it's been so wild. And I'm just sitting at work. My phone will ding. And I'm like, what is it? And it says Cannonball time to be requested. And it's a little, you get set back a little bit to reality when you're doing that because I have a real job. My hobby is like a side gig and it's so fun. Like, oh, what is it now? It's for my 40th birthday. I rented a car, drove across the country for fun. Here's my pictures. Here's my proof. I'm like, wow. That is a great story. Did you know about this Facebook group? And it's like, no, I just know Cannonball. I know VINwiki. And because of this videos and this spreadsheet, I wanted to do it. And now I did it. And I'm like, wow. Hey, me and 5 friends in the middle of December rented a Tahoe and did 40 hours. Did you know about this Facebook group? No, I didn't. Here's the link. You should come on. You should tell the story to the guys. They'll love it. Like, but it wasn't a fast run. And that mentality is make or break because you'll tell someone it's not about the time in the car. It's about the time with the car. You can do a 20-hour run. You can do a 40-hour run. And if you have more fun doing the 40-hour than you do on a record run, that 40-hour time is going to stick with you a lot longer. And as Ed said, it's not about having a good time. It's about having a great time and seeing the people that have come in just, I did this with my friend, or emails of just, hey, I found the spreadsheet through this article or this video. what would you do if you were doing a run? And just seeing the people that are involved in it because of some Google spreadsheet is fantastic. It is incredible. It's just so like, it takes me like back to earth every time. It's like, wow, I've become someone that I wanted to be. And people are like, oh, you've done it. You're this guy in the community. What was it like? How are you with friends with these people? And it's so wild because just about 3 years ago, I was still that guy who's looking up is like, I can do this. I want to do this. And then now I am, you can do this. This is what you need. And even more fun is looking up the old records that were lost to time, that were documented, but were before the spreadsheet, were before anything really, and finding out that the long known or thought record was Irwin Baker in 1937, and it was just done until Brock Yates came around in 1970 and 71. And it went through the 40s, through the 50s, and even up to 1968 was the last record before the actual event. And some guy on a BMW motorcycle did a 43-hour time. And finding out that a Sunbeam imp was sent across the country for marketing purposes and held a record. A Sunbeam imp held a Cannonball record. And just these cars that, if you look back on them in history, are just forgotten. And finding the history that has been lost and is sent to you, and you find it and you geek out about it. Like Jay Roberts of the Prius got a book just called Tracking the Cannonball or something like that. And it's got all these times from 1902, 1903. And we've had to rename a couple runs of the first Cannonball because, oh, this one was done 4 months prior. Okay, well, now this one's the first. What about this 4-ball rally? It's like, oh, well, there's not much really known about it. Nothing's going on. Then some guy just messages Chris Clemens one day. Hey, I have the entire video. I videoed my entire 4-ball rally. We have every entrant who did it. We have this information that we thought was lost to time because the 4-ball rally was even more secretive than the US Express. And he's just like, yeah, here's a binder of information that doesn't exist to anyone up until now. Here's a VHS video of our coast-to-coast drive, finding the history of something that you didn't know existed and just a hobby that you have has been fantastic. It's been one of the better things that's happened because you can just go back, look at a sheet, and there's your name. You did it. And you typed your own name on that spreadsheet too. You hit new line, Mason Dibley. 35 hours, 46 minutes. The musket ball. And that was such a wild day. Just spending hours putting names of people. Like there's John Ficarra, there's John Harrison, Ed Bolian, add that time in. And that was a crazy week. And hey, Ed, what if we did Jacksonville to San Diego? What if we tracked coast to coast to coast? Do it. Go ahead. Get more on there. So it was at like 172, 173. Now we're at 293. That's just New York to LA. The I-10 runs, I think we're at 15, and that wasn't tracked at all anywhere beforehand. Now, what I think we have is one of the best documented historical figures for Cannonball for the I-10 Southern Route, Jacksonville, San Diego, for coast to coast to coast, dating back to 1930, 1920s. And I think it is probably the most complete history of the Cannonball that you can find. And it's not good enough for Wikipedia.
We'd like to thank this month's sponsor of the VINwiki YouTube channel, Minta Watches. We know the world of great cars and great watches tends to overlap a lot, and Minta specializes in remarkable timepieces, both vintage and modern, because they know that great watches also have great stories. So if you're looking for some entertaining and educational watch content, be sure to check out Adam's YouTube channel. And if you're in the market for a watch or you just want to learn more about watches, be sure to reach them at the link in the description below. They'll take great care of you.